my new and improved desk setup. This is the main thing I've been working on. I do like how I had more leaves in this one and the leaf over the eyes. This is the big improvement. Hello, it's been a while. Today is March 29th and it's around 9:30 a.m. and I kind of wanted to take you guys with me through the next 2 days to see what I'll be doing. On art days, I work part-time, and then I have 2 days a week where I can work on my illustrations and kind of building up my art business. So I have a few things that I want to go through today, and I'll just take you guys along with me through that. So yeah, so I have a list down here, so if I'm looking down, that's why. First thing that I want to do is update my logo on my Etsy shop and all of my social medias and my website, because it's kind of outdated and I just want to refresh it to match my current style more. So I'll put on here, this is what my old one used to look like, and yeah, I'll show you the new one once I have done that. So that's like my first thing that I want to do. And then in my previous videos, I was working on my illustration portfolio and I was able to finish it for February and March. I kind of just put my head down and tried to finish my portfolio and my website so I could send it out to agents. So I will probably have a separate video where I go over what I put in my portfolio and my website and what I sent to agents. So stay tuned for that. I today want to kind of focus more on the money-making side of my art and illustrations, because for the last probably year or so, I've been working on just growing my skills in illustration and creating my portfolio so that I can potentially get illustration gigs doing book covers or illustrating picture books. So I have a few different things that I wrote down that I'm going to go through today, and a lot of it is admin stuff besides drawing the logo. So the first thing obviously is drawing the logo, and then the next thing is that I really want to look into Pinterest marketing for my Etsy shop. So I'm going to be setting up a business Pinterest and then kind of just looking at what that's like. And then after that, I want to make a list of potential clients that I'm going to email my portfolio to reach out to that I want to work with, and I kind of have a few ideas of the general clientele that I want to reach out to, but I need to specifically find the email addresses and companies that I want to work with. So that's what I'm going to be doing today as well. And then either today or tomorrow, I'm going to draft up the emails to send to them and actually send out my portfolio. And then lastly, I kind of want to submit a few of my pieces in my portfolio to a critique group, whether that be on Facebook or another social media site, so that I can get some feedback on book covers and illustrations that are in my portfolio, so I can still be improving those and updating them. I'll be taking you with me through that. Let me show you my new and improved desk setup really quick. So here to the left, we have this new container that I got from IKEA, and I just stored some of my Post-it notes that I use in general and for work. So that will be nice, and I will probably add a few other things to this because I tend to have a lot of stuff on my desk, and I love the cute green color that it is. So that's that, and this I've just had for a long time. It is a cup that I keep my pens, pencils, and scissors in, and it is on a coaster that I crocheted a long time ago. That's one of the first things that I crocheted, so it's looking a little rusty now. And then this is also one of the first things that I crocheted, probably my second coaster ever, and I love this coaster. It does have this little bit that I need to weave in, but for now, she stays on my desk and I use it to hold my drinks. This is the big improvement. This stand for my monitor is so nice because now when I type on my keyboard, it is at a nice height while I can look up at the monitor. So this is good for my eyes. I do have a standing desk. This is from FlexiSpot, so it can move like up and down with this button, but having this be higher and have this shelf for storage is so nice. And let me show you what I have in here. So this is that glove that I showed you that I wear when I crochet and when I draw. And then this is a mirror that I got from Daiso that can pop into this stand right here, and it's really good for doing my makeup and if I need to make any expressions when I'm drawing to see what they look like. So that's really nice. I can store that in here. This I use a lot when I'm working just so I don't get as distracted. This really helps me to keep my focus. And it's just a black fidget cube. I got this for Christmas and I really like it. And then this is my hand lotion that I just use when my hands are dry. And then these are glasses that I should wear more, but I wear them sometimes when I am working on the computer. They're a less strong prescription of my current prescription. This is what the eye doctor said that I needed. They don't look very good on me, so I don't like wearing them. And then obviously I have my keyboard. Then I have my mouse and my mouse pad. This is my work laptop for my office job. And then I have my iPad that I draw on here. And then my home laptop that I use for art stuff. And I did have another part-time job at one point and I used this laptop for it too. And this one is a Mac, so I really like having a Mac. But yeah, that is my new desk setup. We love her. So here you can kind of see my setup while I sit on the couch. While I'm drawing, I have like a pillow underneath and then this stand to raise my iPad up to help my neck while I draw. And I also got this glove that I use while I crochet, but I also use it for drawing and it just compresses my wrist and it helps preventing any wrist injuries or wrist pain while crocheting or drawing. So for my logo, this is what I have done so far for it. And you can see it's kind of similar to my old one, but I kind of just made it a little bit more cartoony and I added in my cats. That's Marcy and that's Pumpkin. So I'm gonna be just adding in the details and doing some shading on this. I'm coming towards the end of making the logo and I just wanted to film this part because it's so satisfying to watch to me. I'm just changing the color of the line art and see how much more bold that looks. I'll probably make her eyebrows match the hair, but it's just so satisfying to like fill in the line art with a somewhat similar color. And in Procreate, I do that by, on my line art layer, I just turn on Alpha Lock. And then that will allow me to easily recolor the entire layer. See, and that's just like slightly darker and more saturated. I just have to make sure that I use a really big brush and color over the whole area. And I have like this color palette that I created and saved in Procreate that is for my Etsy shop. So I'm kind of like using the colors of that to decide like what I'm going to color this whole thing. Then for the rose, I want to make sure that it's very saturated. Do the top part. I actually want it to be a little more pinky. And then for the leaves, we can do this color. This kind of just helps to like tie it all together because I could leave the line art as the dark brown that I had it as, but I think that this is going to look a lot better. So that is that part of the flower. And I may change the line art color and the shadows to make it match a little better. Next, we'll do the eyebrows to make that match the hair. And I kind of want to have the cat, at least this cat, match. Just notice that this is kind of coming over the flower. A little darker like that is better. And for this gal, I think this will be cute. And then for the faces, I'm gonna have it match the rest. And then honestly for the flower portion, a little bit darker would be good. Just use the selector tool and then go over here and make it darker. There you go. I do think that's better actually. Okay, an update on my logo. I think that this is the finished version, and I may add in my website and handle on all my social media. It's Leah Elise Art, maybe like on the bottom. But yeah, I think it turned out like pretty good actually. For reference, this is the old one, which was watercolor that I had scanned into my sketchbook. I do like how I had more leaves in this one and the leaf over the eyes, so maybe I would change that. But I do like how the new one is a bit more in my illustrative style, and it has cats in it too, my cats. So you can see one of them's based off of Marcy and the other one's based off of Pumpkin, who is chilling at the window over there. So now that I have finished my logo update, I'm going to post that onto my website and my Instagram and other social medias. So yeah, it's now about 11 o'clock, so I'll probably do that until lunchtime. It is a couple hours later after lunch, and I just wanted to give you an update on where I'm at now, because I was able to do some of the admin stuff I talked about earlier. This is the main thing I've been working on for the last few months, really, and that is my website. So this is the view from an iPad, but it does look, in my opinion, a little bit better in the browser, but I made sure that it's gonna look good on an iPad and phone and a computer, just in case, because you never know which device people are using to look at your website. So the first page when you come into my website is the illustration tab, and then I used Wix personally to create my site and get a domain, but I know Squarespace is also a good one, and there's a lot of other different website builders you can use. I did compare Squarespace and Wix, and they seem to be the same price monthly, so I went with Wix for now, but I may change that later on. So this first category is called portfolio, and you can just see all of my portfolio artwork here. So this is my children's book illustration portfolio, and I kind of grouped them together by the different projects I worked on. So I didn't include every single thing that I made for this project that I'm currently scrolling into, because I only wanted to showcase my very best work in this portfolio, and then I did include a few example book covers. So that's what I have so far, and I am going to keep working on building out this portfolio and adding more things to it that may be more marketable. So let's go to next project, and this is specifically a story I wrote and illustrated as a personal project for my portfolio called Sorcerer's Academy Project. So in my actual portfolio for children's book illustration, I took out the text, but in this version you can see the text placement and the actual text and how the text of the story and my artwork fit together. And you can also click on these to make them bigger and then actually scroll through each page. So I really like that about the setup of my website. I would say this one, and then some of the more complicated, like this one, illustrations are my favorite ones from this project. And this is what I was working on in my earlier vlogs in January and February. So you can scroll to the bottom of this or go back to illustration, and it takes you to my next section. And this is the same thing as what was in my portfolio, but just only the book covers. Right now I only have 4, but I'll be adding to this section. And then next I included some personal art, which isn't required, but it's kind of just nice to do so that whoever's looking at my website can see I can do other styles and other things. So I kind of just have a collection of some of my favorite pieces that I've made over the past year or two. So yeah, that's my illustration section. And then if you click shop at the top, it will take you to my Etsy. So I'm not going to click that yet. I do have an about section. You can see like I wrote a little blurb about myself, included a picture, and then you can see my contact info and social links. And Wix did let me know on their website that the contact section may be cut off on some devices, so you can see it's a little bit cut off, but you can also find my stuff at the bottom of the screen, so I think that's okay. And then I have the contact section, which basically just has the same information as my about screen did, but without the little about paragraph and picture of me. And then for shop, it'll actually take you to an external link to my Etsy shop. So I do like that I can import that since I don't have products I'm going to sell on my website itself yet. I'm still selling through Etsy. So I like that I can still include a link to my Etsy shop on the Wix website. That's what I worked on for a long time, and I also worked on creating my logo. And if you click on my name, Leah Elise Art at the top, then it will take you back to illustration too. So I made my logo, made these sections, and then all these different links to my social medias at the bottom. Really, this took me a while. It probably took me about, I'd say I spent at least 2 to 4 full days just making sure my website looked good and was ready to send out to actual publishers or agencies. Let me go back to Procreate. So after I set up my website, that's when I kind of started focusing back on my Etsy, just building out more things and thinking about how I can connect more, be more active on different websites to meet people, talk with you guys, because I really was just grinding out my portfolio for a long time. And I made these GIFs. I'll show you. This one is my starting soon screen for stream, and then this is like the same thing, but it's be right back, and they both move a little bit like the plants and the cats. And then something else that I really have a goal of is creating more artwork that aligns with my passion for mental health topics. So going forward, I'm trying to once every week or every 2 weeks create a short comic that demonstrates some type of mental health topic that is important to me or that I have some knowledge about. I do have a background in psychology and behavioral neuroscience, so that's something that's really important to me that I want to branch more into, because I want to be able to use my art to help educate people on their mental health and ways that they can help their mental health. So for example, with this comic, I was kind of demonstrating the cognitive behavioral therapy technique of reframing. So reframing an anxious thought that may be a little bit unrealistic. In some cases it may be realistic, but I kind of tried to make it clear that this is in a situation where it's caused by a social anxiety that maybe isn't 100% rational or is not the most useful thought to have. So yeah, that's my little spiel about my past month or two. I will take you guys with me through the rest of this week and show you what I get up to in my art. Something else I did was I started researching potential clients I can email my portfolio to, or at least just a few illustrations, and I found a really amazing list that gave me about 15 different publishing houses that I can submit to that are accepting submissions. And to find this list, I just googled like publishers accepting illustration submissions, and I actually found there are more blog posts about publishers that are accepting writer submissions, but a little tip for that is to still go to the links for submission pages on publishers' websites, because even if a blog post is for writer submissions, the publishers may still be accepting illustration submissions as well. So I used those articles to find more publishers. So it's exciting to have a list of potential clients. And I really like drawing nature themes and also like things to do with relationships and psychology. So the people that I'm going to submit to first are going to be publishers who tend to publish books like that and who kind of align with my interests. and I'll just show you at a glance really quick. I kind of just put down the company name, links to their websites and submissions, and then the different publishers and some are magazines as well. Hey guys, so it is now Thursday the 30th. I didn't film in the evening yesterday because I just took some time to relax after I finished the stuff that I wanted to get done yesterday. And I kind of just wanted to give you an update on the things that I did today during the day, as it's now kind of the end of my work day. Oh, big stretch. Wanted to let y'all in on the stuff that I did today. And so now that I had the list that I compiled yesterday of all the publishers that I was interested in, I chose a few of them. I specifically chose 3 just for today since it's my first day sending them out. And I went to a coffee shop and I started to draft the emails and make them specific to the publishers I was submitting to, and then I submitted my work. So this is somewhat of a big milestone for me because it's my first time actually sending out my artwork to potential clients. So I'm really happy to just be taking the first step, because I know that that can sometimes be one of the hardest parts, is just getting started. And now that I have the templates that I used, it'll make it easier to kind of customize the template for each future client that I send it to. And now that I have the template made, I can switch it up each time I send it out without having to recreate the whole email from scratch. So that was really nice. I got some of that done, and then I kind of did some research for my Etsy shop where I sell stickers. I was looking into just different products that I can make and sell, and I just made a list of potential things. And I did that in conjunction with Pinterest marketing research, because I am going to try to use my Pinterest to market my Etsy shop. So I was doing that at the coffee shop as well, and after I kind of did all my admin type stuff, it was time for lunch. So I came home and then I got to work on the first thing that I decided I would make next for my Etsy shop, which is iPhone backgrounds, or just backgrounds in general for your iPhone, iPad, Android phone, desktop. So I got to work on that and I was able to finish it. Maybe I'll play the process video while I keep talking. But yeah, I was able to get a simple version of that done today, which was really nice, just to be able to draw, because sometimes the job is, especially right now, is a lot of reaching out to potential clients and doing admin stuff on the computer, so less drawing. But having my shop kind of lets me to keep working on stuff that is cute and fun to make. And after a little bit, I will also work on revamping my portfolio after I get some feedback on different pieces and critiques on just my portfolio and how I can improve it. So I will be doing that, but I'm kind of letting myself have a short break since I have been working on that portfolio for the past probably about 5 to 6 months. So it's nice to finally be at a place where my website is done and I can send that out to potential clients. And yeah, I hope that this video kind of gave you some insight into what it's like to be a part-time artist who is just starting out with their business and freelance work. I'm really just getting things up and running after having studied and created a portfolio over the last year. I'm a self-taught artist. I actually have a bachelor's degree in behavioral neuroscience, which is totally different from illustration, but something that I'm passionate about is illustrating stories related to mental health and nature too. So I kind of try to tie in my bachelor's degree, and that way when I am illustrating stuff dealing with relationships and different mental health topics. So yeah, I hope that this gave you some insight. And if there are any parts of the process of creating a portfolio or website that you would like me to cover in more detail, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.